Now we bring our attention to a little bit of entertainment as Glór is set to present Forgotten, which is written and performed by Pat Kinevane. The acclaimed actor and playwright is bringing his solo show to Glór in Ennis on Friday the 30th of January, so today next week. It's a Fishamble Theatre production and a very special 20th anniversary performance. Pat is known for his unforgettable characters, his warmth and his genuine love of Clare, and the feeling is very much mutual, and I'm delighted to say that Pat Kinevane joins us on the line now. Pat, you are very welcome to the show. Are you excited to come back here next week?
Who am I speaking to there?
You are speaking to Daragh. You would have been speaking to Alan, so I can understand the confusion, but I'm a late substitution. Obviously no one can substitute in for you, Pat, because it's a solo show, so we're getting the one and only Pat Kinevane experience too. I see you can't see me here either. We're delighted to say Pat joins us on Zoom, but do you know what, Pat? My camera works and my camera doesn't work rather, and it's probably for the best.
Daragh, it's a pleasure to be on, and thank you so much for giving me time this morning to talk to you.
Not at all. Pat, you've been on the road 20 years with Forgotten. That's some length of time, and you're excited to come back to Clare. What could you tell us a little bit about this show and what it means to perform it here?
Well, Daragh, I first performed Forgotten, and you can hear me well there, can you, Daragh?
Very well.
Yeah, I first performed Forgotten 20 years ago. I actually forgot that it's 20 years. It kind of just crept up on us. We've been very, very busy with the 5 different solo shows. Forgotten is the first one. It's very dear to our hearts. At the time, I wanted to say something about growing older in Ireland, even though at the time I was only 39 years of age. I wanted to talk about and to kind of hold a mirror up to how we treat our elderly in this country. And there's a lot of comedy in Forgotten as well. But anyway, in the end, we came up with this show called Forgotten, and we toured Ireland with it. And then it just got legs, Daragh, and our first international date was Paris. And then after that, we just started literally to tour the world. We've toured North America, Australia, New Zealand, Turkey, all over Europe. So we're so blessed to have the show, 20 years old, and we're still doing it. And it's a very important show to me still, because I believe we have a lot to answer for, really good things in our care for the elderly, but also when you hear about people who are in their 80s and 90s sitting in accident and emergencies on trolleys, you know, I want to push that agenda. I want to keep speaking on their behalf, and I want to be an advocate through the arts for that.
And Pat, I'm conscious there, you keep saying that we've toured the world and we want to bring this, but it's a solo show. But I'm gathering from what you're saying there that there's a significant work going, there's a significant amount of help in the background too.
Absolutely. The company is a Fishamble Theatre company. They're an extraordinary group of people, Daragh. Jim Culleton, he's like a world-class director. But when I say they're solo shows, they're actually, it's just I'm solo performing them, but there's so much work goes into the design of the shows, the lighting design, the sound design, touring, administration. You know yourself, it's a huge group effort, and we all work together very tightly and openly. And we're just very, very humbled by it to be able to bring Irish theatre across the world like that, and to be given the chances to do it is just, I feel like a little boy sometimes. I kind of go, I'm actually able to do this and say something about Irish culture as well, and taking it abroad. Now, this Forgotten is one of 5 shows, so we're performing all 5 of them in different venues, but I can't wait to go to Glór because I have a great affinity with Glór. I love the people down there. It is just an amazing venue. You've got world-class technicians down there, like Elle and Orla and people. Marie is extraordinary down there. What she's done, the programming down there is amazing. And it's just one of those places where I always feel safe, and we get great audiences. And the part of me is from Clare as well, my father's side, and the other part from Limerick.
Whereabouts?
Yeah. Well, I've got distant cousins down there in 6 Mile Bridge.
Lovely.
My father was originally from Adair in County Limerick, but his family were kind of scattered across that area. And I find that venue is an amazing venue. It's huge, but it feels so intimate when you're there. And we premiered the 5th show, actually. It got its world premiere, King, in Glór, because I like it so much. We were there now last year, and we got great attendance and with another show. But I'm so looking forward to be doing the first 20th anniversary show in Glór of Forgotten. I'm like a little boy.
And Pat, what I've gathered from this, of course, is that, look, it focuses on how we treat our older generation, particularly with regards to healthcare, and obviously Forgotten. It hints that we, not even hints, but indicates that we do forget about our elders later in life. But Irish people will understand that story and that humour very well. How has this resonated when you've brought it abroad?
It's really, really funny, Daragh, because we think that we're very local. We presume that we're very local in our society and in our vicinity wherever we live in Ireland. But actually, the theme of growing old, the theme of dignity, the theme of growing old elegantly, the theme of caring for elderly is worldwide. And the piece actually is kind of, in a way, it's juxtaposed by a lot of elderly care in Asia, for example, and particularly in Japan. There's quite a Japanese aesthetic to the show, because when I was researching this, I was fascinated by the fact that particularly in Japan, there is more of an attitude that it is your duty to look after the elderly. That is part of your journey as you go through life, to look after and to revere and to hold the elderly up really as the kind of elder lemon, and to make sure that they are dripping in dignity as they approach their final days. And I think we have that, but I think sometimes we might have forgotten it a little bit. We all, at one stage, grew up in houses way back where there was 3 generations living in the one house. And so everyone was supporting everybody else, including elderly people looking after babies, and babies and young people looking after elderly people. But isn't it funny that I think, especially with our housing disaster at the moment, that we actually are returning to the 3-generational family again, because there's a lot of people who can't move out of their parents, but they're actually having children. And so that 3-generational thing kind of fascinates me, for all the good that's in it as well. Do you know what I mean? That there's some sort of, I think we're casting back in some way, some sort of retrograde. And I'm interested in that. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I'm interested in it when it comes to 20 years later doing Forgotten, that the whole landscape has changed, you know?
It's like how the old rural traditional Irish family, you would have had something up to maybe 10 kids, and some of them would have taken over the family farm, and the rest of them would have been there, and the idea would have been, and the practice would have been, that you look after the parents in their old age. And
absolutely, yeah.
Pat, can tickets still be got for this at the Glór box office?
They certainly can, and they're amazing people down there in Glór, and they'd be delighted to help anyone to come along. And that said, the piece is very, very funny as well. So we're very aware of that. We have to entertain people, and we don't want to be dragging people down.
Yeah.
It's gonna look and sound extraordinary in Glór, as I said, because you've got the best people down there to help us put it up on stage, and it'll be our celebration of 20 years, and no better place than Glór. And I was down the last time, Darrell, last year. You got a new beautiful library right beside
We did
Glór
indeed, yeah. It really is a fantastic setup down there. Now, Pat, before I take you off the line, we've been running a competition today, and we're giving away a €50 fuel voucher for Shields' service station on the Glór Road in Ennis. The question we're asking everybody for is their best wedding story. I've just got one into me here that'll be hard bet. It says, we were at a wedding last May. The bride's brother did a reading. When he was about to go up to the altar, his pants fell to his ankles. A church full of laughter. Pat, you strike me as somebody who has a good wedding story in his locker.
Wedding story. Oh God. Oh yeah, I went to a wedding, my niece's wedding in Newcastle. in England a few years ago, and it was amazing. But when I went to the, I was too early to check in, so I had to get into my outfit in the toilet. And when I was in the toilet, I couldn't get out of the cubicle for about 20 minutes. And eventually this guy kind of hit the door. And you think that the Irish start drinking early on a wedding day. This was 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was locked. And I went out, and there was people having pints well before the wedding. And I thought I was in a completely different hemisphere, not to my own country. But it was brilliant.
Well, I'm glad to hear you had a happy ending, Pat. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for. But certainly, Forgotten in Glór today, next week, next Friday. Sounds like it'll be a fantastic show and in an even better venue. But Pat, thank you very much for joining us.
Daragh, thank you. You're a gentleman. Thank you so much. All right.
Not at all, Pat. Mind yourself.